Hi there, welcome to the Cardiff International Arena as we bring you highlights from the final of the Hasseröder World Pool Championship 2002. Two of the biggest names in 9-ball. Earl the Pearl Strickland, a 5-time US Open champion, against the legendary Francisco Bustamante. Let's join the match in rack 3.
Park that cue ball in the middle, but he's not landed on the 1.
Well, a rare event, a very productive break, slaughterous in fact, but no shot.
Once again, all motion using legs and his forearm just swinging through that plane.
He can wash his hair with his big toe. Everybody's eyes fixed on this. The push out is a challenge shot. You don't push to a snook or even a half snook. You push to somewhere that you're going to plan for, because the opponent can put you back in.
Now he's pushing into an area here where I think, well, I don't think, I know, that's a full ball snooker. And Earl Strickland is either going to have to jump this or he's going to have to turn it right back over to Bustamante, and that took very little time.
What was the logic in that shot then? The rule
well, obviously Francisco can jump the ball. Strickland not nearly so adept.
Now, the theory on this is to hit the ball extreme force, and at this distance it won't be volleying, it won't bounce. He will hit the 1 on the flat.
And Earl leading the applause. A great shot. Even Strickland acknowledging that.
Didn't we say it was magic?
Right into the heart of the pocket.
Look again. See the point I made, that the ball jumps over the 1 ball and then it bounces twice, and then you get it. So best to go in on the volley or just after. To easily clears black.
Well, I'm not so sure, Sid. Even if it does, he's taking the cue ball away from the 4 ball, the next ball on, so even if Francisco decides to attack from here, position isn't guaranteed.
Is there any kind of safety option down behind the 9?
I think it does. He's looking to just float this in and hold the cue ball just into this area to leave the 4 on. At least that's what he had a quick look at. Let's see if he can kill the cue ball there.
That's the key to this. The pace of the white. Brilliant. Jim said that was a float shot. Thin contact.
Now, Sid, he's going to have to play a billiard. In slotting this 4 into the corner pocket, he's going to take the cue ball into the 5. Look how low he sights. Well, he's pulled away. Man, that was a very thin cut. And as low as he hit on that cue ball, it looked impossible to avoid contacting the 5, but he pulled it away. Look at this. Watch that cue ball.
Great example, as you see, of the cueing. I mean, sometimes it's almost cueing half off the ball. So clever at putting spin. They call English on the ball.
And remember, this was from the push out into the hook.
So you were dead right about his plan. You all would fancy the jump shot, but he did.
And a perfect angle on the 7 to go back up for the 8. This
Absolutely.
has 2-1 written all over it.
And it's winner break, so we can see the first of a reel of racks. So we'll be reeling. Francis put him on the rack. Very good. What's the position here? He's got an angle to go into the cushion.
He's perfect, Sid. His
Draw
choice.
back.
Just pull it straight back for the 9. Bustamante's starting to look very comfortable.
Pull is in very apt word because they do have that white on the offset. This then. For Francis to take a 2-1 lead in the final. You could hear a sliver of chalk dropped. Yeah, in Cardiff.
The 9 slotted into the corner pocket. It's cost 2 racks, and he's on the 1.
See ever.
Just watch the force. Eyes not leaving that cue ball until it explodes into that diamond cluster of colors.
Any tricky ball? As we see that immense balletic, coordinated, athletic, right? Is there a problem, Jim, with that pink?
2 to 4 is the only problem. You can see he's going to be pulling back here to get the cue ball close to the center of the table to leave an angle from the 2 to the 4.
Pull shot, the same as the draw shot. The ball's coming in below, halfway down the ball. And the lower you hit, the more acute your angle of pull will be.
He'll ensure to leave himself an angle here too in pocketing this 2 ball. He'll try and just pull the cue ball off the cushion and bring it back into this area to leave the 4 ball on.
He doesn't want to be straight on this one. He wants to be at an angle, but taking the ball.
A tough pot this one, and he's got to have it. The speed it'll be traveling, it's either in or over the pocket.
It's in.
Oh, what a lovely touch on the 6.
And I'll get in, Jim. Brilliant.
Look at this effort though from Bustamante here, slicing that 4 down the cushion and just feathering the 6 for position.
Sounds looking very good for 3-1 in this race to 17 and the world title. Oh!
Unforced error, the first of the match. He can't believe that 6 stayed up.
So, Stebby and Earl, fill your boots on. There's Busty winces at this miss.
I'm not so sure it didn't kick. Looked like it skidded after it contacted the cue ball.
Deep screw, spinning the ball back.
And I take it
This
back.
has got an easy shot to come off the cush and back down.
If that 6 did kick on him, then that wasn't an unforced error. That was just bad luck. But this 8-9, a formality for Earl.
Sure is.
And
Remember, winner breaks, so we could be at a pivotal moment in the match as Earl rescues this situation to 2 apiece.
Let's move now on to rack 8. Francisco Bustamante, 4-3 ahead.
That orange looks handy.
And look at the position.
Oh my goodness!
This is what Yang saw in the semifinals. Planted into his seat for 6 racks. Bustamante can rack them together like nobody's business.
And we mean rack 'em as in Torquemada, the Inquisition. Dawdle have a run through here.
This is the sort of situation that if Francisco starts hitting the break shot like this, he's going to make it look so easy.
The pearl could well crawl back into the jelly inside the oyster. There'll be time for that if Francis stays in this kind of stroke. It's the first real opening of the match, the first time. It's been a lead cushion between the 2 of them. 4-3, looking likely. Brilliant order here. Brilliant order.
Just a nice angle on this 6. Slide the cue ball across for the 7. Sid, I don't believe there's been a 2-rack difference in this final as yet, but we're about to see one now.
Absolutely. And his nose in front. Could make a road runner look like a tortoise. Casual ease, indeed an elegance out the style. And this fantastic liquid use of the cue, and then it wiggles, and then it's dead straight through the cue ball.
He was the 1998 Player of the Year. And he comes into every event as one of the firm favorites. The 9 down, Francisco Bustamante, 5-3 ahead of Earl Strickland. Needs that one to be clear. And I don't think it is. So often, Sid, we get tournaments where a lot of upsets see a player get through to the final. The one in recent memory, Ismael Paez, when he took out Strickland in the semifinals.
From what? Strickland 7-2 up in that match, yeah.
Well, this one, in this particular event, the most dominant players in the tournament have made their way to the final. Coming into this, Strickland had won 182 racks and dropped only 41. Bustamante, would you believe, 183 rack wins, dropping only 51. So dominant have these two been. Looks like only safety here. You might want to just try and fine clip this two and run around the angles. Bring it back in behind the 9 with the cue ball, and that's if it isn't on. Ideally, and the one should just bump off this cushion and come right back in behind the 3. That looks like one option for a safety. That's some diagram, that's it, eh?
Well, are you winning the Turner Prize, kid? Eat your heart out, Tracy Ehrman, that's art. Well, sees what Francis left, surveys the scene.
He's kicking from the side cushion here, and he's going to be going in at speed.
Pull back to rack deficit. And I think he may set it up. Now.
He's left it, but it's a long, difficult one. Earl starting to show a lot of negative body language as well. Just kind of thumping his cue down as he walked back to his chair. He's only 5-3 down. It's early days here. A race to 17, as you can see. But you certainly don't want to dig yourself too big of a deficit to have to try and claw out of.
That's right. You see the difficulty of the shot. It's a long way. Lost the line. Ooh, but it's rolled handy, I think.
He's left this one on for Earl.
Yeah.
And deservedly so, Sid. You take a shot like this on, you miss it, you're resigning yourself to leaving the 1 on. If you'd have got it safe, you know you'd have been lucky. But again, getting to the 2, he's got to get back into the middle of the table, or he could power this to get the cue ball below the 2. Obviously, it's available to the side. But again, it just depends how much angle he has here on the 1.
He's trying to get position on the blue 2. There's the pot, and I do believe he's very sweet on the blue 2. Is he ever?
That's a tremendous shot from Earl Strickland there. He had to thump that 1 ball into the pocket and force it around the angles. And at that speed, no room for error.
Earl has been dabbling with snooker technique.
That was a bad shot.
Standing square onto the table because he's so impressed by Steve Davis.
He didn't need to hit that 8 at all there. Took a chance. That 8 could have stayed in the path to the 5.
As it is, should be fine form pretty soon.
One thing that you have to admire about both of these is as much pressure as they're under, you'd never know it to see them. 5-4 on the cards.
It's the World Pool Championship. The battle in the Bay here in Cardiff. Bustamante leading 6-4.
Looked like he was going to try and bank that into the bottom right corner, but it was always going to be safety.
Well, you should know to hit this one. But he could dolly up so easily.
Well, this is a choice for Earl right now. And it looks like he does have available the 2-cushion escape where he may have to spin the cue ball to get into the 1. And if he doesn't fancy that, or if he feels it offers more safety value, he does have just a straight 1-cushion hit as well. So it just depends what he fancies here, Sid. And I think
Coming in with a bit of right-hand side.
look at that. Anything you can do, I can do better. The only problem now facing Francisco is the exact same problem that just confronted Earl Strickland, hitting it and getting it safe. And this one, about the same degree of difficulty to hit, but he again is going to be trusting to luck a little.
There's the white gun. Very near. I think this goes to the middle bag.
And it does.
And it's an almost automatic drop on the blue too.
Well, you may leave him in trouble because it takes the cue ball away from the 2 ball.
Oh yeah.
No positional value there, so again, trying to keep the clamps on Francisco. He's only 2 racks in arrears right now. No reason to get desperate as yet.
Yeah. He's got the ropes at the moment on the Filipino Tornado.
And this one's going to take some hitting. With that cue ball wedged up to the pink 4, Francisco looks like he's going to go 3 cushions. And Sid hitting this a tall order, getting it safe, almost a minor miracle.
That's right. There's no trees down that end of the pitch.
Cue ball in hand now. The only problem for Earl is the 3 and the 6. The 3 and the 6 wedged at the top end of the table, and I don't believe that 3 is available to any pocket. So what Earl is looking at right now may be the possibility to attack the 9 off this one.
Well, he was having a quick leg at it.
He did.
Sure was.
He did. If his other option is to roll through with the cue ball here and leave a nice angle on the 2 to try and dislodge that 3. That's what he's elected to do. And I don't know. This is close.
Now watch the pop.
He's going to go off the side cushion and try and hit it.
The whites. Oh, passes.
It must be available to the top left, Sid. It didn't look like it was.
No.
It still doesn't look like it is.
Well, it's wet. It seems to be wedged up against the 6.
Well, I think Earl wanted to travel just a little further with the cue ball. If he'd have got it down into about 6 inches below where he is, he'd have been able to play a snooker easily. He should still. Well, it was available. That ball didn't look on.
Nope.
That was an amazing look there. There's no way it looked like that 3 wet. Earl, I take it all back. You knew what you were doing all the time. But that one wiped its feet.
6-5 coming up.
And now waltzing through this rack. Strickland looking to pull one back and get to 6-5.
Screws over. Black 8. Gently drops onto the 9. This shot. 6-5.
I think that 6-5 scoreline is very flattering to Earl, because there have been a lot of errors that have crept into his game in this match. And right now, he's looking to get back to 6-6, and there's no reason why he shouldn't.
No, and there's a dolly of a 1. Position automatically guaranteed in the same pocket for the blow 2. And has he got enough angle for the draw shot to the red?
He's in prime striking position right now. Nigel Reese will just clean the cue ball a little with his gloves. There's that little implement that you see so often with the snooker referees as well, just to mark the cue ball, slot it back into that little groove. Now Earl can go on his merry way. Again, just ensuring to leave a nice angle on the 3 to get the cue ball back. The other side of the table for the 4, Sid. This
merry way it is tonight. Sometimes it's like Friar Tuck with bellyache, Earl. Other times like Alan Adele. Tonight it's like one of Robin Hood's merrier lads.
He just had to miss that 7, and he did. That was the only danger there.
Do we like the stroke? Do you think the stroke's improving?
Watch that back arm. He's got a long, extended follow-through. He's always played lightning fast.
Yep.
But when you're going to be able to tell is when he's got a shot that's going to require a little touch. These ones he can hit all these. Something that's going to require a little bit of a deft touch. That's when you might see a little tightness in the cueing arm.
Here we go then. 4-6 apiece. As final and full, 6 apiece it is.
Nothing to choose between these two champions. 12 racks now in the books. Another look at the wide stance, not nearly as animated as Bustamante. And he doesn't hit it with as much force either.
A lot more arm. And as Jim says, the stomach muscles and leg power that Francis puts into the fray. Does he like this shot? One?
You can see this one. And it offers half a chance. The only problem for Earl is getting back down for the 3. He's got a wall of balls on the right-hand side there, Sid. And to get that cue ball back down for the 3, not that easy. And the option is to try and hide the cue ball. You could try and kill this and just bring the cue ball into this area in behind that wall of balls and bank that 1 ball up the table. Let's see what Earl does.
Shot in behind the wall. Jump shot an option here?
Not any longer. He's going for his jump cue. It's not an option, it's a guarantee.
Well.
Look at the 1-9.
Haha, yeah. He'll be going for it as a plant, not a billiard.
He's
Ready?
coming down to look at it. This is about a half ball hit on the right side of the 1, and he wants to get that 9 tracking towards that corner pocket.
That's right, keep your eye on the cheese. Oh, it's going to dolly up.
It's there for Earl now.
Sure is.
Just overcut this. Any softer and he wouldn't have left it on.
Then on about his stroke. Is there any shot here that you think may illustrate if Earl's in better touch?
Well, again, he's in a position where he can hit these. We'll keep our eye open for something that's going to require a little bit of finesse. He's going to get the cue ball back up the top end of the table now for the 5. This will be just drawn off that side cushion and up the left side. See there, he's left himself a much tougher shot than he should have. He didn't get into that cue ball nearly as well as he would have liked to. The 6 available to the same pocket, so he can hit this.
Yeah, and it's not really hard work to get on the 6 either. If this does go in, looking good to take the lead.
Now a nice angle again to just bump the cue ball off that side cushion for the 7 to the same pocket. That was cued nicely.
So, Professor White suggesting maybe some of the finesse back in this game. Very handy time to take the lead and then get oil in the arm. It could be painful for Busty pretty soon.
Missable. A steady stroke needed here. And achieved the 9 down. Strickland with his nose in front, 7-6. He's not on the 1. And Earl never won to hide his displeasure when the balls don't obey his every whim.
The eyes flash and the tash sags.
You can just get through to the right-hand side of that 1 as we look. And he does have a safety option here, but it is fraught with danger, and he's going to be bumping that 1 ball towards the corner pocket. He's going to take the cue ball back up in behind this wall of balls. And he's going to be leaving the 1 if he doesn't get there.
A pretty finesse shot to me, Jim.
Been a number of occasions Francisco's come to the table here and had nothing to do but to jump over.
Here he goes again. People would think it was the steeplechase season. Right. He's had 1 perler and 1 that missed by a long way. Stabbing down.
Now,
Once again, hello Dolly.
he's not getting any rolls right now. Every time he's missing, he's being punished. The only saving grace for Francisco Bustamante as we again see this jump shot successfully completed is he's bumped the 4 into a relatively safe position. It's available, but he's got to be in the right spot to attack the 4. This is a missable. 2 Earls left.
Bustamante intent, watching every inch of effort here. Well, that's left the pocket. Well, oh, he messed up 1 end, but I think he's fluked snooker.
Well, that wasn't a fluke snooker. He played that cue ball over in behind the 3. That was a shot. That was a shot. He wanted to get it. He expected to get it. But in missing it, he knew he was going to be taking the cue ball over in behind the 3. But watch the action here. A little off to the side and very little follow through. I like to see Earl get through the cue ball a lot better than that. Nifty little shot there from Francisco. Not much room to maneuver that white now.
On the top of Earl's finesse. Maybe see if it's spot on or not here.
Not much options here. Just put distance between them and bump the 2 ball to the top cushion. No choice.
Well, he can get a full hit. But what do you think? Is he going to be thinking about a thin hit to take it along the rail and in?
Wouldn't surprise me if he took this on. A very thin cut into the top corner. Position would be guaranteed if he gets it.
Oh yes, what a shot! Crowd delirious! Bustamante's genius! One of the thinnest cuts you'll ever see.
What a shot here. And this is the 4-ball now. This is the shot. Just enough room past the 9 to slot this 4 into the bottom left corner. He's got to kill this with slow drag and leave the 5 into the same pocket.
Slow drag it is and back and forth. It's got to be said, I expected Francisco to get that blue because he is a genius. Him from Reyes, the most amazing eyes and the most imaginative shots in the game.
The way this one is unfolding, this has all the makings of going right down to the wire.
Absolutely.
Neither player able to get any distance between the other.
That's correct. Now, bottom and the check side, stop the distance being a problem, and this will hold the cushion as if it had been sellotaped.
Well, he hopes so. And it did. The 9 deposited. 7-7 the score reads. Again, he's losing that cue ball, Sid. If he lands on the 1, and he has, and look at the way they've unfolded for him here. Bit of a miss hit, but he'd like to have a lot more miss hits like this.
Any problems in that wall? Orange to black.
His only problem is the pink 4-ball. It's so near that side pocket. When they land there, that side pocket comes into play. So Francisco may need to try and drop in behind it. He's just looking to see if it's available into the top left corner as we look from our overhead camera. But he's going to be able to attack it from the blue too.
Stop shot. In.
Oh, he's going to play it into the side pocket, and this is a very acute angle into the side pocket. He's going to have to get the white back the opposite end of the table, so he won't be able to just roll this. He's got to hit it. Great shot there.
Oh, is it ever?
Pulling the cue ball over to the 5. Bustamante looking like 8-7.
That final 7-7. Like gonna be 8-7 in favor of Francie. Back and forth shot again. Parallel with the head string.
Firing rockets at each other, and neither one wilting. Gathering his concentration. There's a lot more pool ahead in this final.
Right, just tops it through to the cush. To make it even easier, they shot a bit of previous applause. Oh, why? I'm gonna miss this. Yes!
He stuck the cue ball in the middle of the table, and the 2-ball has set up perfectly for yet another offensive display from Francisco Bustamante. There you see it. Not many breaks in the game any better than this man's. Just move the cue ball just a little bit over to your left. You'll be in great shape, have a marvelous angle off that 4-ball to come back for the 5. Has everything he needs here to set up for the 6-ball onto the 7. Steve Davis has joined me now. Steve, quite a show these boys have been putting on so far.
Yes, but neither player dominant as yet. The crisis point in this match is yet to come.
Bustamante 2 balls away from a 2-game lead. Job done. Francisco Bustamante leads 9-7. Another explosive break shot coming up from Django.
Are we aware what Django means?
Actually, it's the name of a very popular movie star in the Philippines, and how he came to acquire that nickname, I'm not sure.
Ramming that cue through on a dead straight line, keeping the force of the tip, bending the cue as well. The force of the cue, the force of the tip on line as much as possible to send that cue ball on its path. Which is different from Earl Strickland, whose cue finishes up more in the air than Bustamante's. Perhaps that's a slight difference in the power of the 2 breaks. There's not much between these 2 lads. They really are building up to what could be a very close finish here. You don't know in 9-ball how it's going to go, Jerry, but you know, we had quite a one-sided final last year between Nika and Ralph. Once one person got away, the other tended to sort of drop his head a bit. That can sometimes happen in sport, but I have a feeling this could go all the way for some reason.
Well, right now, this is the nightmare that Earl did not want to suffer. To watch Francisco just come to the table and put together a few racks.
As Sky Sports fans know, and 9-ball fans, even the newly converted, even a 5-rack deficit is nothing at 9-ball 4.
7-ball down. And again, just 2 balls separating Francisco from yet another bead on his side of the string.
Bustamante does look the more composed, it has to be said. Although Earl obviously gives away a little bit more with his face, even if he's playing great pool. Strickland not looking at the table at all.
Bustamante has no direct shot on the 1 ball. Here you take another look.
No 2 games of 9 ball the same. These 9 balls fly around the table. Doubt very much if you ever get 2 racks that look the same.
Bustamante has 2 paths to get to kick this ball, but really not much advantage unless he can do something with it.
Well, I suppose the long rail shot could end up with a hook on Earl, possibly knocking the 6 in. That wouldn't be of much use if he snookered himself, so a little bit of work to do here.
Yeah, if he could put the 1 behind the 3-5 and leave the cue ball where the 1 ball is now, it'd be job well done.
Of course, he has the push out, and a lot of the Filipinos refuse the push out if they have a better kick in the first place, because they could of course get put back in again anyway. It looks like Bustamante cannot play a guaranteed kick, so the push out, is he leaving it for an easier kick? Is he leaving it for a very severe jump shot with a bit of backspin to screw him behind 3-5? Earl cannot play this shot. Bustamante can. Earl looks at the table. Does he? He's not having a look around. He knows what Bustamante's given him here. He knows Bustamante's wanting him to put him back in again, play the jump shot, screw back behind the 3-5.
That would be a risky jump shot though, Steve. He'd have to hit it dead on, because that close to the rail, the cue ball could jump right over the rail after contacting the 1.
Unless he can just go off that back rail with a hell of a lot of side spin, clip the 1 and knock it into the pocket. I mean, that's a possibility.
Well, he's put that cue ball behind the 9, and what a fantastic show of control of the cue ball.
How sophisticated a safety was that? Didn't even think about potting the 1 ball. Played across the face of the 1, clipping it thin enough that it never really poked its nose out for the corner pocket. Okay, you could say a bit fortunate to get behind the 9 ball, but I'm not too sure. Filipinos, they know where every ball's going on the table. Good kick by Earl. Not too much advantage, but he retains control of the table. And as we look back at the table, you'll see that 3 ball tucked in behind the 5. So, not really too much of an advantage potting this 2.
Indeed, a great shot on the 1 ball. Dead in the heart of the side pocket, but as Steve mentioned, well, you know what though? This is a shot that Earl does in exhibitions, where he drills a ball into the corner pocket and draws back.
That is a marvellous shot from Earl Strickland. One of the greatest shot makers the game has ever seen, and he has pulled something out of the bag there. So easy to have hooked himself on that shot. Marvellous control, and perhaps the only place on the table where he could have potted the 3 from.
Earl still looks a little down, a little depressed.
He looks a bit flat, I'll give you that, but perhaps he's steeling himself for the onslaught ahead, and from looking like being in trouble there, he's turned the tables, as so often happens in a rack of 9 ball. What a marvellous blue 2 that was.
That was a fantastic shot. One of the best shots of the tournament thus far. And it's given Earl this simple run to bring himself within 2 games of Bustamante and come to the table with the break. And with a break like Earl Strickland's, you don't know when he's going to sit down.
Great striker of the ball, Earl. Sends that cue through dead straight. Very positive delivery of the cue. Didn't want to get this close to the 7. But he's delighted with the outcome.
Well, I'm sure that 2-ball shot's going to give Earl a great shot of confidence.
He doesn't like the 2-ball in a wing ball position. He thinks that gives a more unfavourable split of the balls.
Well, it does. I mean, if he can get the 2-ball in the back of the rack, the 2-ball is going to come up to the head of the table, although that's all null and void now. Earl Strickland has scratched off the break in the same pocket he did earlier. And Bustamante comes to the table, and it's an open table. Here's a look. You see that cue ball. The top spin catches it and sends it right into the side pocket.
More worried about the split of the balls than the actual accuracy of the strike in that instance. And once again, he seems to go into his shell.
Just for a moment to get back to that 2-ball in the rack subject. The rules say the balls have to be racked at random. And so where it lands, it lands.
The 2-ball must be at the back of the pack. It can't be next to the 1, touching the 1, I think. Is that right?
No.
Anywhere.
It can be anywhere. You just can't place it always in the same place. And the players would always like to have it in the very back of the rack.
I think this the order of play here has been that the 2 has never been touching the 1. But I mean, the rules, as you say, are correct, random. But I think for this particular competition, perhaps that's a slightly more sophisticated rule than the rule book, so to speak.
They have, because they don't want to generate a favorable placement for the 2-ball. It makes the run simply too easy.
Although how you can predict the outcome of 9 balls being belted around the table is beyond me. 10 including the white.
Well, Francisco's going to take heavy advantage of that scratch.
And slowly, perhaps over the period of time of a best of 17 rack, he is forging ahead. It is a tenuous lead. He's got the advantage, that's for sure.
Well, it's a very tenuous lead, and what Earl has to keep out of his mind right now is that if he had not scratched, the score could have been 9-10, and instead it's going to be 11-8.
Looking down, I don't know if he's looked up to see that Bustamante has come very badly on this positional shot. I don't even know where the balls are. He just seems to be in his shell a bit too much for my liking. Does he know that Bustamante's got one awkward positional shot here? Did he flick his eyes up to have a look?
Yeah, Bustamante came up very short on this last position shot, but man, you'd never know it to see the outcome.
What a great shot. And this is not good for Earl Strickland fans.
$11-8.
Hi there, welcome back to Cardiff. Earl Strickland making a bit of a comeback. How will he fare in rack number 20?
Earl's already shown us he can kick. And he's kicked this ball safe, Steve. It looks like, I don't know, Francisco may be able to get by that pink 4.
He's very flat at the moment. That was a great kick, actually. He was a bit unlucky not to get. That was a controlled kick, not trying to keep behind the 3. And as it's turned out, he found himself a little unlucky. He's left a path through. Whether he can pot it or whether he wants to pot it is another matter. But of course, he can play a decent safety behind the 7. I'm sure if he can pot it, he will go for it because the blue 2 is hanging over a pocket, begging to be potted. Floating it in. What a risky shot. He's gone behind the 9. He's got a path to the 2. Great touch.
Wow. Very close to putting himself in jail there, but he has escaped the bars.
Just bringing the cue ball out into the middle of the table, somewhere towards the pink 4, not behind it, of course. He tried to get behind the 3. And that was more risky, and he has got a path past the brown 7. This isn't as hard as it first looked. He has natural position on the 4 ball. If the red 3 goes past the brown 7, Bustamante, his favourite, to stretch his lead to 4 racks.
This is the sort of thing that began to happen in Bustamante's match last night. Even when he didn't get the position he intended, he wound up with a shot. And I'm a little surprised to see him play that safe. A good safety, though. I mean, you can't blame him. It's a great opportunity for a safety, but the offensive opportunity was also there.
Well, it looked like it from our television screens, but you can never tell unless you're right behind the shot whether it was a full pocket behind from the 3 past the 7. But slowly trying to squeeze the life and the enthusiasm out of Earl Strickland, and there's no reason, if you sense that a player is getting into himself and got on a downer, no sense to take risks to help him to get out of his problem. Why don't you compound them? Keep your foot in his neck.
Indeed, keep him kicking. After a while, the frustrations will mount.
Great shot, and Earl Strickland certainly hasn't given up. He's played some very controlled kicks, and I think he deserves a break.
Well, Bustamante may well regret playing that safety now, because he's coming to the table with, wow, just a... Well, he can't get. I don't believe he can get to the. Yeah, he cannot get to the left side of the 3. If he could, he could lay the cue ball up behind the 8. But now it's a totally different situation.
He may play the aggressive 1 cushion escape around where he's looking now, with the possibility of making the 3 ball. 2 cushions, side cushion, hit the rail just before the 3, and cut the 3 in. That's an option. Does he go around the back of the 7? Another option. Does he jump to safety? There's another option.
That's what I look for. I like the jump. As well as Bustamante jumps, he could wind up putting the cue ball behind the 8.
This will be a blow should this go in.
I think Earl's going to like this, and he's going to like it a lot.
He may be looking down, but one thing he is doing, he's taking his time. He's not bashing at the balls, he's certainly not out of it. He just needs a bit more encouragement in this match, and that hasn't gone ideally for him. Hampered by the 5.
Well, if he can get to 9 here with the break, you may well see his attitude improve. Whoa, Steve. He really flirted with that side pocket. That was a tragedy in the making.
Well, that was the problem with awkward cueing over the 5. Didn't have the greatest of control. That was a great recovery shot. Very easy to have had your heart in your mouth and all of a sudden panicked on that particular shot. So, still, nobody can get that gap that gives them a comfortable feeling in their chair. They're just trying to get away from each other. Bustamante's obviously got the advantage.
Well, something I've just noticed the past few shots, unless Earl is purposefully cheating the pocket, the balls are not going in the heart of the pocket.
Well, not so necessary as long as he gets them in, and the experience of positional play gets Earl over the line there, but you would expect him to be reeling a bit. Much better break from Earl there, but has he got the 1 into play? Just, but once again, that 5 ball, not his friend.
Well, here we see the break. See that cue ball jumping into the air from the force that Earl puts into it. And this first shot, it's a toughie, cueing over that 5 ball.
Very little chance also of making any positional play on the 2. Could be a safety. Could be a great shot. What a marvellous shot from Earl Strickland. said at the top of the show, he's one of the greatest shot makers the game's ever seen. What skill for that shot.
Both men showing fantastic control of the cue ball. It's just a matter of getting to the table. Right now, Earl Strickland in control.
Well, he hasn't rolled through far enough to make getting on the green 6 an easy shot. He's got to play a more aggressive positional shot to get even halfway up the table. Wouldn't bet against Earl Strickland clearing up here. See how well he cues through the ball there. Straight through the ball, like an arrow. Strong, positive delivery.
Cue stick always accelerating through the plane of the cue ball. And this will draw Earl to within 1 game of Francisco. And he's coming to the table with the break. That's advantage Earl. 9 ball down. Earl Strickland now trailing by a single game.
Well, the 1 has gone in an awful position. A truly awful position.
This is a part of the game where luck indeed does rear its ugly head time and time again. As much as you want to try and control that 1 ball, other balls can come up and kick it and send it anywhere on the table.
Needs to control not just the cue ball if he's going to play a safety, but also the 1 ball as well. Needs to know exactly where the 1 ball's going. Obviously, to screw back behind the 6 and 4 would be an option, but not just blindly screwing back, hoping to luck that the 1 ball hides itself as well. You've got to work out how to try and stop it from coming back up down the table.
If he can screw back into that area, he'll be a very happy man. In the 9 ball.
Oh, it's a 1-9 combination. It is very much on, I feel, with safety as well.
Now, would you play the combination or would you play the carom?
The carom. I think the carom is a certainty with a certain amount of insurance as well.
The only thing is, he's going to have to dig down to get to the bottom of that cue ball a little bit.
Well, he may not have to play with backspin. If he hits it firm enough, he may be able to get a sort of a bounce effect on the cue ball. Expect to see this 9 go very close.
Very close indeed. Right down into the heart of the corner pocket. And Francisco Bustamante nails that shot for a 12-10 lead.
Bustamante
The cue ball has been kicked toward the side, but it stayed out of the hole. Pretty tough lie on the 2 ball here. There you see the break shot. Hello. Well, play possibly a, no, you can't play the 2-way here on the bank because the 3 ball's down on that same end of the table. So you've either got to plan now to play offense or play defense. What do you like?
I like defense. But where, I'm not absolutely sure. Offensive defense anyway, with an aggressive safety, and that looks pretty aggressive to me. He won't be absolutely sure that he can force an error from Earl Strickland here. Earl Strickland can't get through the gap, I don't think. Through the 5-9, that's a very small gap indeed. But he has got options off the side cushion. Well, no, he can't get through there.
No bad.
We've seen many times this week a player come off the side cushion, contact the top cushion first, and just roll the blue 2 along into the pocket. But we've also seen players clip thinner than that, try and leave the 2, come down the table for safety. There is no obvious path back to the ball end this way for safety. He may well be forced into trying a 2 cushion pot on the blue.
Well, I would expect him to hit this ball with some pace so that if it doesn't go as planned, he can create some distance between the 2 balls. When you haven't got anything else, perhaps fate will help you. And indeed, he's rolled into a safety, it appears. At least from our angle, it doesn't appear that Francisco has this ball.
Well, judging by that, I think there was enough room around the back of that two that Earl thought he could actually play and push that blue two up the table, keep the one down there. There's an edge sticking out. It's also an edge that is of not much use to Bustamante.
Earl has picked up his attention, now watching the table intently. Busta closing one eye to get a better view of the path to that two ball. See how close he is to the 9. It must just be off. The cut probably just off. You know, if he could cut that ball, he could get back down for free.
I don't think he can cut it, but I just think he's worried about how it's going to end up. He's got to trust a bit to luck in how he negotiates the other balls. But whether it's the right shot to play is another matter. He's obviously got a scratch in the opposite middle pocket.
Ideally, the cue ball would come 2 rails, but he got a kiss off that 2 when he hit it, and everything went wrong on that shot for Francisco, because now, well, Earl's got an almost certain clearance in front of him.
Well, obviously he didn't fancy the cut, or it wasn't on, and in a way he was a little bit unlucky that that cue ball came around the back of the 8-3 and back into play. Even though Earl's been subdued in this match, I think at least he hasn't been at odds with himself as much as we've seen during this tournament. He is retaining control of his emotions. As far as frustrations, talking to the crowd and breaking his concentration in many ways, he has kept concentrated, even though it looked like he was playing a bit introvertedly.
He's rolled a little further past this 6 ball than he would like. He could have just drawn back for the 7 ball, but now he has to play the rails. Nigel Reese doing a little housekeeping on the table. And Earl Strickland takes it 2 rails for shape on the 8 ball. And come right back out to center table for the 9 in the side pocket. Earl Strickland clawing his way up the ladder. Oh no, he's jumped the cue ball off the table.
Nightmare.
And look, he's made 3 balls on the break.
Adrenaline pumping through Earl Strickland. He gave it just a bit more, and his action does tend to bounce the ball sometimes on occasions.
There you see it, that cue ball jumped off the table right off the cue and was in the air when it hit the 1 ball.
He missed by at least half a ball. Therefore, the white ball was careering around the table rather than planting itself in the middle of the table. And once again, it doesn't look like he can get back on level terms. Bustamante just about hanging on to this lead.
It's so uncharacteristic of Earl to be making errors in the finals of a big match. This is a man who in big matches tends to play perfect.
Well, a 2-time world champion, 90 and 91, up against not the pretender to the throne, but a possible king in the making, Francisco Bustamante, for a number of years having to live in the shadow of the great Efren Reyes, but certainly a national hero back home, and it would be very understandable he went home with that trophy to a hero's welcome back in the Philippines.
Well, you're exactly right, Steve. Bustamante has been one of the major crown princes of this game now, especially since 1998, the year when he dominated. And this is the title that'll bring him up into the true status of royalty, king of the game.
Flags are getting quite animated.
Bustamante puts the 9-ball down.
Straight back to the action. Francisco Bustamante, 13-11 ahead.
Strange situation on the table. Have a look at that 5.
The speed of the shot has a tremendous amount to do with how much English that ball will take. The slower you hit it, the more English it'll take. I don't know if he didn't put enough juice on it, or maybe it was just shot a little bit too firm.
Should Earl Strickland not be in a position to go from 2-ball to cannon out the 5-ball? That's how he's lining up now to see if he could do that. Remember that Bustamante is on 1 foul. That could be to Strickland's advantage. 3 fouls, consecutive fouls. His loss of rack. So Strickland doesn't have to clear the rack in one visit if he can keep the pressure on him, forcing fouls from Bustamante. It's debatable whether he can get into a position to snoop it behind the 7 though. So drawing back across the table to leave himself an angle on the 2 to break open the 5 and 7. Does he like the position?
Well, Earl can certainly get there from here. A bit of a tricky, risky shot. If it doesn't go right for him, he could possibly wind up turning the table back over.
Ideally, he would like to leave the 5 there, clip the 7 into play.
Beautifully done. Earl Strickland showing why he's known as one of the true masters of the game.
Big shots are coming from Earl to keep himself in this match. He's certainly not out of it.
Well, he certainly isn't. He takes this game. It's only a 1-game margin.
And it would be fair to say the bravery of both these players under pressure this week. Whoever wins fully deserves the title of Hasseröder World Pool Champion 2002, a tournament that is growing in stature around the world. 62 countries around the world, 42 nations competing, 250,000 hits on worldpoolchampionship.com, an internet site that has brought together the heart of the game of pool from all countries around the world. It really is a big happy family, this pool world.
Well, Earl's going to take full advantage of that missed combination.
Just needs a bit more pace, just enough. And the miss on the 1-9. Cost Bustamante a 3-rack lead, just sneaking in. But once again, Strickland will have a chance to break, to draw it level. Just doesn't seem to be able to get level, but here's another chance. His last break off was a disaster.
Keeping an eye on that 1-ball. Does it set up for a shot, or does the 6-ball block him? And the 5-ball has tied the 1 up anyway, even if he can get to it. There's no good shot.
Delicate safety, perhaps trying to nestle in behind that orange 5. Is Earl's only real option here. He needs to get this cue ball touching the 5 ball to really put any pressure on Bustamante. That's a bit too soft.
Oh, he's left a shot. He knows it.
That's possible.
You could see him sag on the rail when he finished that shot.
Not only is it potable, but there is some way of coming back down the table for the blue 2. What looks like what would be an awkward situation on the snooker table. It's made a lot easier by the size of these American pool table pockets. The game of pool is not meant to be difficult to pot the balls. If you can't pot your balls, you have to make sure you get a safety, a snooker.
Well, Francisco could certainly play a deadly safety on Earl now if he wanted to, just to play with his head a little bit.
But if he's got the chance to go for the shot and guaranteed to get position on the blue 2, he will. The only thing that is stopping that is possibly the orange 5. Sorry, pardon me, the pink 4. He has sort of 2 cushion round the back of the orange 5, but the pink 4 is in the way for positional play. So he could have perhaps do something else with the ball. Inside kiss on the 5. Doesn't go in the nicest position on the table.
Yeah, well, actually 2 bad things happened on that shot. He's got a tough one on the 2 ball, and the 5 rolled over to the rail.
That's the way he played the shot. His cue ball on this side of the table. A little bit of body movement there, but a great strike of the cue ball. And now the only problem. The only problem is 5 to 6 position. Probably 4 to 5. Okay, negotiated, and actually it's made it a lot easier. The shot, a bit of luck there, helped out Bustamante. Looked very much as if Earl Strickland just can't get back on level terms.
That was really quite a bit of good fortune. Had Francisco struck that 6 ball just a little bit thicker, the cue ball would have wound up trapped by the 9. The 9 would have been directly in the path. But instead, he has an out that he should certainly have. Great angle now. The move down table for the 8. He'll play this out 2 rails back and forth across the table for the 8 ball. Oh, who do you think they're pulling for? Their man is at the table. And you know, Earl gets so close to pulling even with Francisco, and he just can't seem to cross that last hurdle. Oh, he scratched on the break. That is now 3 scratches on break shots, 2 from Earl, 1 from Francisco, that we have seen in this match, and we had not seen that all week.
Controlling this break-off is an art form, and with just a little bit more pressure, a bit more tension in the arm, doesn't take much before that ball can just go astray. And the player able to control the table for any length of time in this match. You've seen some of the matches in the semi-final and quarter-final stages that have been dominated by players in sets of 4 or 5 racks. This has been anything tough all the way. Once again, we'll have the chance to narrow to 1 rack. Got a bit of a mess in the middle of the table to try and negotiate.
Yeah, that 6 and 7 are close enough to cause some problems. At the same time, the 5 ball is sitting in a perfect position for him to be able to maneuver that cue ball wherever he wishes it.
Doesn't want to be dead straight on the 5, but it would be highly unlikely that he would be able to make some sort of angle to be able to stun across to the middle of the table. And the 6 obviously goes into 3 corner pockets. Choices from Strickland. Big tight for the corner pocket. And he squeezed past the 7 for the centre.
It looks very possible to me that he can put the 6 in the corner pocket. I mean, excuse me, in the side pocket. Indeed, that is the point of aim that he has now assumed. 7 will go on the other side. Cue ball will go 3 rails. 7 to the side. Cue ball. 3 rails for position.
Doesn't want to be dead straight on this 8. Otherwise it just makes it a bit more difficult to get back to this 9. Created an angle once again. And for the 4th time. I sound like a worn out record here. Goes again.
It looks, oh, that cue ball was going toward the corner pocket.
Oh, it's a road jam.
It's rolled up ugly another time, and Earl has got to feel like he could not buy a roll in a bakery. How many times can we see this happen?
Look at the balls come to Bustamante's rescue there. He can't believe it.
He can't believe it. We can't believe it.
Can he clip the 1? Yes. Can he clip it to safety? Possibly no.
Yeah, the 2 ball is in an ugly position there for him to escape that cue ball.
The trouble is, where does he push out to?
Well, the other possibility, I mean, this is one of the greatest shot makers. If he can see enough of that ball, the side pocket.
Cut it in?
Yeah.
Or cut it in the corner? I don't think you can see enough of it to cut it in the middle, but well, it's very hard to see from the overhead. Sometimes the angle is more difficult to judge than looking out from our commentary box into open play. You know, I mean, if you can't put it in the middle, and I don't think you can, otherwise you may have started to play the shot. I think it's really difficult to get any type of safety between the balls.
Yeah.
And that was the
Side
shot.
pocket.
What a great shot once again. That's the 4th shot, in my opinion, in the last 8 or 9 racks that Earl's pulled out of the bag. What a beautiful strike. Just caught the near jaw, and it's very unusual to see a ball going in off that near jaw.
Well, now, if he can get on this 4 ball, the rest of the rack is certainly available. The 4 ball available with a draw shot.
Strickland has looked the more unlikely winner of this championship than Bustamante.
Oh no, he's fallen badly. He's fallen right on top of the 4 ball.
I was just about to say, had Strickland timed his charge to perfection, comes up with a dog of a shot like that.
Nigel Reese trying to determine whether or not that 4 ball is frozen. That's critical in this shot, because if it's frozen, after he hits the 4, he has to drive that ball, the cue ball, or any other ball to another rail. He can't just go up and nudge this ball more firmly into the rail. It is frozen.
Well, can he play thin across the face of the 4, bring it behind the 7 and 6 and send the cue ball 2 cushions behind the 9? No.
He's going to hide behind the 9 ball. Well, he hasn't got it.
I don't think he could hit it thin enough to play the shot I suggested, and was forced to play a more dangerous escape, but it's a good shot. So, will Francisco employ the jump cue? Is it the right time to play the jump shoot? Earl doesn't like what he's left.
Well, you know, he's hidden behind just an edge of that ball. He doesn't even need the jump cue. He can just hop over this with the play cue. Really, we've seen this man make some fantastic jump shots. He doesn't mind going to the air. That's what he's going to do. He's just going to use his playing cue.
Doesn't have to jump so high in the air, that's for certain. He could play the swerve, but
Well, he could, but that's not his exact.
play the swerve with safety. That cue ball pokes its nose out. It's so hard to see from these overhead angles sometimes.
We just don't know whether Earl comes to the table. Yes, he has a full ball here. He's got a shot.
Can you get
This again is that draw shot that Earl loves so much. Or he could just really follow this ball there.
Wow, the elbow came out there and hit the front row of the audience.
Did. He seemed to try and steer that ball after the shot was gone.
The crowd appreciate the significance of that shot. The chance Earl was looking for, and he failed in it. Been fighting a rearguard action for most of the match. When the chance was presented to him, he had to take it. And once again, it looks every bit that Bustamante will keep that slender advantage. You could have never predicted a game keeping this close throughout the whole match.
Yeah, every time Earl gets close, some kind of gremlin sneaks into his game and gives the table back to Francisco.
Well, yes, but Francisco has a very tricky 7-ball down the rail that is hugely missable should he not strike it cleanly enough.
Well, that's clean enough. Clean enough, and he will clean them up. And you know, before this match started, everyone expected to see one guy run 7 racks, another guy to run 6 racks, and to switch back and forth with long runs. We haven't seen that at all.
Well, the break has been important, but not in the way that we thought. Bustamante, all of a sudden, 2 racks away now from success here. And the crowd are very enthusiastic towards Bustamante.
Oh, he's lost the cue ball into the pocket. 4 scratches in 1 game in a final championship match. I have never seen that before.
What amazing.
Well, obviously, he hit that ball with way too much top English. It was spinning when it came off the rack and spun right into the pocket.
Well, you've got to say, neither player wants to win it at the moment, or perhaps they want to win it too much. For whatever reasons, you won't see a more tense final than this. Strickland keeps given opportunities to get back in this. Sorry about that. Keeps getting back in this match that he probably didn't expect to have. He's been, in my opinion, ready to perhaps give up a fraction, but he's still in there shouting.
And Earl has just picked the pace of his game up to the normal Earl pace. You see him starting to run through the balls. When Earl starts running through the balls, you better run for cover.
Well, we saw Jeremy Jones put in a poor performance against Earl Strickland. Earl was certainly not on top form, but towards the end of the match, Earl just let his natural ability flow. Forgot about where he was, just got on with the racks. What a time to come up and mug Bustamante here. It's the perfect timing, even though it wasn't how he designed it.
I've got to tell you, I've watched this man play a number of years, and whenever he shoots fast, he shoots good.
Once you stop thinking and worrying about the game and just get on and let your natural talent flow, give yourself every chance. And once again, Earl Strickland desperate for a proper break-off, with a shot at the 1 or the 2 ball.
He's in the clear.
6 and 7 have come awkward, although he got an immediate shot to break. No, sorry, he shot to break those out. He hasn't. Forcing that cue through there. Good control on the cue ball. Unfortunately, got just a nudge with the 7 there, which has sent the cue ball down, but straight on to the shot. As you say, upping the pace. 5 to 6 is the major sticking point, and the clearance that could level the match with only 3 racks to go.
Well, I'm looking right down the line of that 6 ball. It does not look to me that it clears the 8, that he can get the cue ball past the 8 to make that cut. There may be enough distance between them that he can. If he has to come straight onto it, he's in trouble.
That would be a nice idea if you get on the 4 correctly to split those apart and be on the 5. But I'm not too sure he's got that angle. Playing for safety, or does it pot? It may well pot. Hard to see. If not, it's a safety.
Yeah, from the overhead, there is enough of a gap there possibly for him to slide in between those 2 balls. But, you know, even if it does pot, the 8 ball sends the cue ball in the wrong direction to get to the 7.
To the 5. Oh, sorry, to the 7. I apologise.
Right.
I've got
From the 6 to the 7.
I've missed the 5 out. Mental blank on the 5, Jerry. Okay, so he's got a very strange angle now. Twice across the table to break these balls out?
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's going to break it. Well, he has to. Steve, I haven't got a clue how he's going to handle this. That 6 ball is a puzzle that only Earl knows how he's going to handle. If he hits this shot now, there's a possibility that he can hit this with draw and come off that 8 ball back up table. Otherwise, the 8's going to send him in the wrong direction.
Doesn't look like it goes. I think he's playing the safety. It just doesn't look like it pots.
Indeed, the 3 rail safety puts the 6 on the other side of the 8 ball.
It's not hard enough, is he? He may just be hard enough.
Well, he's not real happy.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
And also, it's more or less... I'm not going to... What should I say? More or less impossible to jump. What a stupid thing to say for a snooker player. To jump over this black 8.
No, actually, Francisco can jump this fairly routinely with that short cue, that lightweight cue. You can get the ball up in the air immediately.
This is a big shot. He has been very effective with the jump shot. He played a magnificent one against Efren Reyes. Should he pop this 6 ball and gain position on the 7, the whole of Cardiff would erupt.
So close, and yet so far away. And now he's given Earl the opportunity to tie this match. Here you see he gets the height he needs.
It was a great shot, it really was.
But he's
so
overcut
close. You know, he nearly got away with that. That green 6 had come away from the pocket a little bit more. Earl would have been in trouble. Maybe going a number of cushions here to get back on the 7. And that's great judgment of the angles from Earl Strickland.
Very, very close to that corner pocket, but this man knows all the tracks on the table.
This is still awkward, even though the ball seemed to be at Earl's mercy, as I'm sure you're familiar with now. A ball just past the middle pocket is one of the few shots, few positional shots that the players can come unstuck on. Trusted to smooth, clean cueing down the rail on the 8. A shot on a snooker table, it would be a nightmare. Nowhere near the problem on a pool table, but still has to be struck cleanly.
Well, we've seen this shot missed this week, but not this time. Earl Strickland is finally going to draw even, and our race to 17 becomes a race to 2. Oh, baby, stick around. This one just got tight.
One. Beautifully planted in the middle of the table. And there you see the significance of being able to control the cue ball in the middle of the table. Even if it does get a kick, as this cue ball did get, even if it does get a kick, the ball has more distance to be kicked into a bad position. So therefore, he got lucky with the kick, he got lucky with the position, and all of a sudden look at the eyes of Earl Strickland homing in on this World Championship.
Given that Earl clears this rack, it'll be the first lead he's had in this match in over an hour.
You can't watch there.
What an opportune time.
All of a sudden, as you mentioned earlier, Jerry, Strickland has just gone on to automatic pilot. That he's cued all the talking, effectively taken his mind out of gear as far as the demons that were in it earlier. He's just playing natural Paul the way he knows how.
Well, he probably feels like he's gotten all the bad rolls that a man can have in one match. So with them out of the way, he's ready to play pool.
Is there a problem?
No, he just doesn't want to do anything stupid coming off this rail.
I think he's worried about colliding with the 8 ball.
He is, but if he can hit this with just a hair below center and left English, he can spin. Oh, he did hit the 8 ball.
Big mistake. That would have sent shockwaves through Earl Strickland, and look at his face.
Well, you know, he feels bad that he hit that ball, but at the same time, Steve, this is virtually the same shot that he used to clear up the last round.
Yeah, the only trouble is, Jerry, he was looking at like an easy clearance, and now he's got a missable shot.
In fact, this is a little bit easier. It's off the rail. And down. Earl Strickland, 2 balls away from the hill.
Cueing as well as he has through any time of this final. The sign of a great champion is to rise to the occasion, and Earl Strickland looks like he may be on the verge.
Strickland is on the hill.
Oh, he lost the white that went everywhere.
But he's got at least he's got a shot on the 2. It's a tough shot. Long, cut shot.
Made a lot of balls, but he lost the cue ball, completely lost it. Well, one good shot away from winning a very close encounter.
Indeed, Steve. This is one shot away, really, from winning this match. This is the critical shot, as you said. He's had a lot of big shots in his career, but I doubt many top this one.
Well, certainly not. You realise how many people around the world are tuning in and watching. When he won in 90 and 91, there certainly wouldn't have been the exposure and coverage now that this Hasseröder World Pool Championship is getting.
Definitely the biggest audience that the Pearl has ever played before. Wow, the 2 ball down. Does he have a shot on the 3 that enables him to get to the 6? Oh, sure. Oh, sure.
Got the red 3 in the middle. It was a clean strike on the 2. It never touched the sides. He didn't account for the 8, but he gave himself a chance to be on this 3. Still got to get this 3 in the middle. They're not the easiest of pockets, these middles.
It's down. Earl Strickland 4 balls away from the World Championship. The only man to win consecutive World Championships in 90 and 91. On the verge of taking yet another title. 5-time U.S. Open champion.
There's the class of the man steadying down when others would fail. Goes the 7. Not perfect on the 8. As long as he plays the right shot, he's going to give himself a chance at the 9. It's been a fantastic performance by his opponent, Francisco Bustamante. It looks like it's come undone. And the man who's done it is at the table with only the 9 ball to pot.
What an important shot. Probably the most important shot of his career. He's going to get up, take another look. He's got to be comfortable on this shot. The pockets got to look tiny. He's done it! Earl Strickland is the champion of the world. Gets up on the table to celebrate this victory. Earl the Pearl Strickland is the Hasselroder 9-ball world champion.
So, confirmation of the scoreline. Earl the Pearl Strickland, the Hasselroder World Pool Champion of 2002. Join us next time for more